Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following NFL matches that is happening on Sunday, September 10, 2023. We will be providing our team, total and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. Las Vegas Raiders vs Denver Broncos. Take Denver Broncos minus 3.5 points. The Denver Broncos had an awful first season under new quarterback Russell Wilson, finishing 5-12 and last in the division. They fired head coach Nathaniel Hackett and replaced him this offseason with former New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton. They traded first and second round picks for him. No matter what's going on with the rest of the roster, the Broncos' success for this season and beyond rests on that Payton-Wilson partnership. Wilson seems to be buying in. Denver was embarrassing offensively last year, last in the NFL in points per game with a measly 16.9. Defensively, they were better and will be strong again this year, 21.1 ppg, but the key for Denver this season is Payton bringing back the Russell Wilson of old. Denver will watch running back Javonte Williams' workload as he continues his comeback from a major knee injury that cost him most of last season. It remains to be seen whether the $245 million investment Denver made in Wilson will work out. They have lost 6 in a row against the Raiders. In the opening week of the NFL season, divisional rivals Denver and Las Vegas are set to clash. Denver has faced a 6-game losing streak against the Raiders and is coming off one of their worst offensive seasons in a decade. Their offensive struggles were evident last year, ranking last in the NFL in points per game with a meager 16.9. On the defensive side, they fared better and are expected to maintain their strength this year, allowing an average of 21.1 points per game. These teams met on November 20th last year, with the Raiders winning 22-16 in overtime. The key advantage in this matchup lies in Denver's ability to control the line, especially with the return of Javonte Williams and the absence of the Raiders' defensive end Chandler Jones. Earlier in the week, Jones criticized coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler, claiming he was locked out of the team facility. As a result, he will not be playing on Sunday. I anticipate Denver employing a balanced approach in this game, resulting in a relatively low-scoring affair. While not many points may be scored, I expect Denver to secure a narrow victory and cover the spread. Take the under 43.5 points. The Raiders will be breaking in some new faces, most notably behind center. Jimmy Garoppolo has replaced Derek Carr as the starting quarterback. Vegas will once again lead on their bell cow Josh Jacobs. He led the NFL in rushing with 1,653 yards last season, but he did not want to play under the $10.1 million franchise tag, so he sat out until 2 weeks ago, when he and the Raiders finally agreed to a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. Raiders coach Josh McDaniels indicated during training camp that Jacobs likely would receive a similar workload as last season, when he had nearly 400 touches between rushing and receiving. Considering Garoppolo is coming off a broken foot suffered during camp last year, look for Vegas to continue feeding Jacobs as many touches as possible. They have had losing seasons in 4 of 6 years. Denver was deplorable offensively last season, averaging 16.9 points per game in the first year of Russell Wilson's $245 million contract. Sean Payton is an offensive guru, and Russell Wilson has a similar stature to his former quarterback for a decade, Drew Brees. The Broncos figure Payton can unlock flashes of the old vintage Wilson, but that will take time to develop. Especially in this first game of the year, I expect both clubs to be rusty on the offensive side. Las Vegas is breaking in a new quarterback, and there will be a steady dose of Josh Jacobs and Javonte Williams. Jacobs had 109 yards on 24 carries in the November game, so expect a similar workload, and although I expect Denver to win, this could be an ugly game offensively. Dallas Cowboys vs New York Giants. Take the Cowboys. With back-to-back 12-5 seasons and arguably the best quarterback in the NFC in 30-year-old Dak Prescott, Dallas is optimistic that they can take it to the next level in 2023 and get beyond the NFC title game. After winning 2 of their last 3 regular season games to advance to the playoffs, their season ended in a disappointing 19-12 defeat on the road to the San Francisco 49ers. Despite ranking 4th in the NFL in average points per game in 2022, the Cowboys moved on from their offensive coordinator, and they are replacing him with Brian Schottenheimer, who consulted for the team last year. He has had success in the past with several top field generals, including coaching Russell Wilson during the most productive 3 years of his career. Schottenheimer and the Cowboys coaching staff will need to work with Prescott on his efficiency this year, as he led the league in interceptions with 15 during an injury-shortened 2022 season. Schottenheimer-led teams have finished in the top 5 in rushing in 4 of his 5 seasons as offensive coordinator. After losing RB Ezekiel Elliott to the New England Patriots, the Cowboys' running game begins and ends with 30-year-old Tony Pollard, who is coming off a fractured fibula last year and finished with 371 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup all returned to lead the wide receiver core. The Dallas defense forced one less turnover in 0-3 than they did in 0-2, but the minimal regression did not stop them from leading the league with 33 takeaways, and they are projected to have one of the better defensive units this year. Dallas has been dominant against New York in recent history, winning 9 of their last 10 matchups overall and 2 of the last 3 at MetLife Stadium. Additionally, the Giants have struggled against Dallas, losing 9 of the last 12 games against a spread and 8 of the last 10 games against NFC East opponents. The Cowboys showed strength on the road towards the end of the 2022 season, winning their last 4 games against the spread, including a convincing 21-6 victory over the Giants. While Dallas boasted a high-powered offense with impressive statistics last season, the Giants had difficulty scoring consistently. Quarterback Daniel Jones and his receiving core ranked in the bottom half of the league in yards per game, 333.4, and completions per game, 20.3. Adding to New York's challenges in this matchup is the fact that the Dallas defense led the league in takeaways last year, averaging 1.8 interceptions fumble recoveries per game during the 2022 season. Despite high expectations for the Giants this season, their recent struggles against the Cowboys are hard to overlook. Most signs point to Dallas securing a victory and covering the spread in the Sunday night matchup. Take the over. Expectations in New York are high for the Giants, who, in a wild card battle on the road in January with the Minnesota Vikings, secured their first playoff win since the 2012 Super Bowl. Coach of the Year Brian Daboll, returning for his second year with the Giants, hopes to build on his team's success by utilizing new talent and resting heavily on returning stars such as QB Daniel Jones and RB Saquon Barkley. The Giants did not go under the point total in either game played against the Cowboys last season, and they have pushed or gone over the point total in 3 of their last 4 matchups with Dallas. The game in November between these two squads played at MetLife Stadium went over the point total. The Cowboys' offense has scored 21 points or more in each of their last 4 meetings with New York, and they have scored less than 20 only once in their prior 9 matchups. Dallas was the 4th highest scoring team overall in the league last season, averaging 26.8 points per game. The Cowboys' offense excelled on the road in 2022, ranking 7th in the league in away points per game, with an average of 24. They also rank 3rd overall in the NFL in offensive touchdowns per game, so they are capable of scoring quickly in bunches. The Giants' defense ranked in the bottom half of the league in opponent yards per game, so look for Dallas to take full advantage and drive down the field throughout the contest. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair on Sunday evening.